When it comes to discussing the realities of parenting, you can expect some sensitive material and occasional profanity.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Anonymous Mom, a podcast where two childhood friends reconnect to discuss mom life, adulting, and everything in between.
And this week we are talking about hobbies because as moms, is that a thing? Is that a thing?
We desperately need them and we don't have them.
No. And also we've got a giveaway going on. And I will let you explain it because you explain it better than I do.
I was like, but I already did.
I know, but you did a really good job. So.
Well, we have a contest. If you review us on Apple Podcasts, take a screenshot of your review and email it to anonymousmompod@gmail.com. You are entered in a drawing to win a I Am Just Detoxing pouch filled with self-care goodies. And we are so excited about it. We love these bags. They are limited edition bags. We will have some other pouches, though, on our website for sale, which we are also excited about. Some mom-themed ones and just some regular ones.
Mother's Day gifts.
Yes, Mother's Day gifts. We'll do a Mother's Day sale, too.
Yeah.
Head to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, take the screenshot, email it to us, and we will be choosing a winner on March 1st.
May
1st. What is time?
Well, if you had a hobby, maybe you have a better idea of time.
I'm going to start making calendars. That's my new hobby.
God. So I brought this up only because I have recently started some new hobbies that I was pretty jacked about. I didn't really know what hobbies were because after you do things for a while, it just becomes like part of your life. And that's kind of what, doing the research on hobbies is what is supposed to happen. It's just supposed to be part of your routine.
Nice.
Having a hobby should just turn into a routine where I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But the definition of a hobby is an activity that you frequently do for pleasure during your leisure time. This could include activity, athletic, or intellectual activities. And that was from WebMD. So,
well, I got to stop you right there with leisure time because I don't know what that is.
Well, you need to find more leisure time. Yes. And I think what they say hobbies can do. An activity that you enjoy can improve your mental health and well-being. Research shows that people with hobbies are less likely to struggle from stress, low mood, and depression. Activities that get you out and about can make you feel happier and more relaxed. Group activities like team sports can improve your communication skills and relationships with others. Being someone who doesn't always want to do group activities, I was wondering what other things there were.
I know we already talked about the JOMO, the joy of missing out.
I mean, and I get it because I know like a lot of people like right now pickleball is huge. Everybody's in a pickleball league.
I don't know what that is, and I refuse to find out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll come and go. Just
they're
sprouting
everywhere. It's like CrossFit. It's starting to scare me. Where I'm like, is this a cult?
Yeah. Anyway, pickleball is like really big now.
Was your mom on a softball team when we were younger?
No.
Okay. Because that was big. My mom was on one of the softball teams.
My mom was a horseshoer. She played horseshoes.
Sorry.
I gave the horseshoes.
It sounded like you were going to say horse shit. And I'm like, whoa.
No, horseshoes. Whoa. And it's funny because I remember growing up begging her to take me to horseshoes with her. And then I played softball. Yeah. And my kids would be like, take me to softball. Take me to... I'm like, no, fucking A. That is my time. You are not...
That's your hobby.
And that is when I was like, ooh, that was really nice. My mom took me sometimes. But yeah, of course. And nobody wants their kids there. Of course, my mom didn't want to take me to flipping horseshoes. That was her time away, you know?
I know. Yeah, it was like we were talking about that full circle stuff and where you just don't realize like, oh yeah, there was actually I don't remember which social media platform, but somebody saying like, now I really understand when my parents said, I cannot hear myself think right now.
Yep.
They really could not
hear themselves. Yep. Because there's someone chewing, there's someone singing, or someone talking.
It's like those things you realize like, oh, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hobbies.
So this was one because you were talking about leisure time there, or saying the leisure time. So then, of course, I wanted to look up what is the biggest excuse for reasons people don't have hobbies. And one
Check
was
all
time.
of them off, I bet.
One of the main one was one, and money. And I found some that are free.
Yeah.
Because the common reason given by many for the inability to take up a hobby is lack of time. Most people are inclined to prioritize their work over hobbies.
Yeah.
However, you don't need to choose between the two. It's important to make time for activities that you love by keeping the following things in mind. Instead of trying to take time out of your day to do an activity that you like, it's better to make a long-term approach and find gaps in your schedule that you can fill. So
instead of picking up your phone and going on social media, which we will talk about next week.
Exactly. So they're kind of saying
that is like, not a hobby.
Right. Schedule a break within your day, even if it's a few hour or a few minutes. 15 minutes can lead up to an hour per week, so you just add little bits in, because I think we all know that
I can't do a hobby though in like 10 minutes.
You can if you want to. If you really wanted to, I think you could. So one of the things was coloring.
Yeah.
Get a coloring book. And you could color for 10 minutes and it'll de-stress you and it'll take you away. And then you go
I don't
back.
think it will, because I want to finish.
Well, then we have to work on patience.
No.
The next episode will be about stubbornness.
No.
No.
Next. What's next? What's next?
Let's see. Okay, many times when you work, the hours tick along without you noticing, or spend a lot of time on social media or television.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what's taking up most of your time and whether you can utilize it for something that you truly enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So along with putting our phones away.
Yes, go on.
Okay, so then I Googled hobbies for women. Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to go through all of them because
macrame, crochet.
Yep. So there was, will be linked in our episode description, but I found a website that had 75 hobbies for women.
That's a lot of hobbies.
It was a lot of hobbies, and I can't lie. Some were reading, some were journaling, coloring, puzzles, all of those things that you don't think of as like a hobby.
My problem is that I want to monetize anything I do. I can't just enjoy doing something.
Okay, so it's funny you should say that, because Steven Johnson is an expert on innovation and play.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he says legendary innovators like Franklin, Snow, and Darwin all propose common intellectual qualities, a certain quickness of mind, unbounded curiosity, and they also share one defining attribute. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Okay, but they also share one other defining attribute. They have a lot of hobbies.
Do right now. Hold on. What else are you trying to do right now while we're recording? I'm sorry. I'm writing a paper right now while I'm
taking notes as I'm
reading. While I'm reading.
I was trying to click on another link of the 75 freaking episode or the thing.
What else are you doing right now?
I can't do two things at once. We all know this. We know cannot do that. Okay. So anyway, he says you should have 4 types of hobbies. So this is perfect for you.
Okay, there's different types of hobbies. Okay.
Hobbies for learning.
Okay.
Hobbies for
reading.
Creativity.
Sure.
Yep. Hobbies for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbies for fitness, and hobbies for money.
Hobbies for fitness. Do they elaborate on that?
Well, hobbies for fitness would just be like walking.
Going for a walk?
Or, yeah. Like,
is that considered a hobby?
Yes.
Okay.
Walking in nature is a hobby.
Okay.
And the 75 ones, as I was looking at that, was a fucking hobby.
Did you look at all 75?
Yes. I didn't do all 75, but I looked at all 75.
Was there like a really weird one that stuck out?
Okay. Yes, there was. Hold on.
Hey, you know what I just realized too? That invisible it's not Mr. Jackson, it's Mr. Johnson. When you said Johnson, I'm like, oh, that's the creepy ass invisible man that we needed to invite into our apartment. Mr. Johnson. I'm like, who the hell is Mr. Johnson?
And my brain immediately goes to the gutter.
Oh,
Johnson.
like me was 69.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the weird?
So the weirdest one was, oh my God, there's so many freaking.
Yeah, 75 is overwhelming.
Okay, so one that I thought this wasn't weird, but documentaries. You can
watch
a hobby? Documentaries.
Watch
documentaries as a hobby.
That's true. That's learning.
Yes, and it was like things like that I was like, okay, well, magic tricks.
I miss watching documentaries. Magic tricks.
Magic tricks was one of them.
Something I left out of the social media episode. a hobby, actually. So this is relating to hobby. And we're going to talk about this next week with the struggle of being social media. They say to make a bucket list of things you want to do that don't involve a screen.
Oh, okay.
For you and your kids. And then to like have this bucket list of stuff you want to do that has nothing to do with us, with being on your phone or your tablet or a TV. And then you go through that list and like start checking them off.
Okay, I'm game with that.
And so that way when your kids like are going to pick up your phone, like, hey, why don't we go to your list and knock one of these off, and then go do that. But
okay, so the only one that I remember thinking was really weird for other people, not for me, was stargazing. I think some people would be like, so what do you do? Like, I would love, like, I stargaze, so I already have. I did not know that I had so many hobbies, to be honest.
I knew you had so many hobbies. I knew that. I do too.
With my ADHD, I have like numerous hobbies that I start and don't finish. That's my.
Yes, you can't do them at the same time.
Okay, this was longboarding, and this was on numerous times. Longboarding.
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm out. I'm not.
But I think it's just guess what number it
is that our new hobby? We're gonna break our hips at 40.
I know, and that's what I thought. But guess what number it is?
oh, they're rated?
No, it's just guess what number out of the 75.
69!
It is!
Yes! Oh my god. The universe is telling us we have to longboard.
But like another one, thrifting. That's a hobby. All of these ones you're finding out that I'm like, oh my God, I have way more hobbies than I had any idea. Mm-hmm. They're just something that I look at like I do. Journaling was one. Junk journaling was another one.
I like the journaling. I also like the idea of there being like date. Like, I think it would be easier if, Saturday mornings were your thrift shopping and,
yes. I actually have a friend that
Sunday
does that.
nights were documentary night.
Yeah.
And kid-friendly documentaries, though. I never thought about that. There's got to be kid-friendly documentaries.
There has to be. Yeah.
Okay, so free
hobbies. Writing, hiking and walking, reading.
Technically,
exercise.
writing's not free, though, because you have to buy the notepad, you have to buy the pencil. I'm just saying.
Okay, let's be for real. If you don't have a paper and pen at home, we should probably have a talk about some other things.
I'm just saying it's not technically free.
Okay.
Then I have to buy a journal.
Then there's all kinds of other things on this list that are not free. Then if you're going to go,
I have to buy a $20 journal. I have to buy a pencil. I
have to buy all the markers on it so that I can
highlight.
That's how I do things, because I'm either all in or all out, and that's the problem. Maybe one of the reasons why people have a hard time having hobbies is because
you want to do it all or nothing.
They do the all or nothing, and I'm 100%.
I am too. Yeah.
So okay, so back to free hobbies that you're
quote free.
Yeah, quote free. Okay, so writing, hiking and walking, reading, exercise, fitness, learn a foreign language, volunteering, singing, juggling, origami, drawing, solving puzzles or crosswords, astronomy.
So far singing, I almost said dreaming, which is a hobby of mine, but so far singing is the only free thing I've heard so far.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but it's a great one.
Astronomy, rock collecting, which I do already. Meditation.
Okay, that's technically free.
Taking advantage of your community treasures, which we have a library, which you can go get
a
books.
Fantastic library, by the way.
Yes. So I think people just always, when it comes to a hobby, I mean, I remember being asked, oh, what's your hobby? And I couldn't think of anything. And then I was telling a friend that, and she's like, you have all kinds of hobbies. You like to craft, and and I'm like,
yeah.
We have a tendency to think a hobby has to be this thing that you monetize. You don't have to monetize on a hobby. A hobby is something that makes you feel good. And in the long run, maybe it is something you can, but
yeah, it often turns into it. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think it's what you said too, how the hobby ends up being something you just do.
You just do and you don't even
realize. And so that's how it ends up getting to that stage. Is because it's not something you just do once and then you put away. But that's the problem, is I think people think that they're going to start something and enjoy it. And it's like, you might have to try a few things before you find the thing that really makes you happy.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, I know I do this. I start a hobby and then I'm already thinking about what I want to do with that hobby.
I know.
Before I even start it. Live in the moment, live in the hobby moment, and just have fun with it. I jump ahead to what I'm going to do with all of my hobbies when I do my hobbies. When I start working out, I already visualize the body I'm going to have after I work out. And then I'm like, no.
For my brain, I think what's going to work best is the dedicated time. So actually, we did that, and I need to get back to it because we have our Friday movie night. And we have our routine where after school, she gets to pick her donuts up for Saturday morning and some popcorn for our Friday night movie. And one of the Friday night movies, I have those coloring books, and she started coloring. And so we were coloring while having our movie night. But I do have this coloring book that I was doing, and then she was doing her coloring, and it was fantastic. And that was a way of us doing that. Having this idea of, okay, then Saturdays, a hobby where she can go and do something, even if it's like playing at the park and I can bring something with me. It needs to be routine for me.
Right.
And now I'm seeing like where she's getting this from. But for me, like to bring up the astrology, because I'm a Pisces, I go with the flow, but it's easy to just keep flowing. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes I need that opposite side of the Virgo, like structure to really get things done. Well, 69 longboarding. Let's give it a shot.
I mean, I just thought that was kind of like a longboarding. I mean, I know what it is, but then I'm thinking like adults do that? Do adults longboard?
I don't think they start it as an adult, but there are adults that do it. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not at 40 going to be like, fuck it, let's start longboarding.
Let's start longboarding.
Well, that is all the time we have for this week's episode, but please share your hobbies with us so that we might be inspired to buy a bunch more shit that we don't need and start a new hobby. I can't tell you how much stuff I have from
you don't even want to know what my basement looks like from the hobbies I've started. I mean, I have done every freaking.
That is the only positive of me not having storage here is that I am limited to the shit I can put in here.
Anytime the kids need something for a craft, I've got it.
Michael's trip.
Yep. Oh no, Michael's trip is the basement for me.
You already have a Michael's store in your basement.
I have a Michael's store in my basement because that's how I roll.
I love it though. I mean, for your kids to be able to just have that on hand is pretty fantastic.
God.
I mean, she has her craft area. I mean, talk about hobby. She has her stuff set. And it's like, I do have to get out of that too idea is everything. It's all for you. It's all for you because it's like everything around here is laid out for her. But then it's like, if I'm going to set my stuff out, she's going to want to mess with it. I have
strict rules about my stuff. You do not, if you're going to use my stuff, you got to ask, don't just take my stuff.
Oh, did I tell you about the painting?
Yes.
Okay. I set one thing out and she cuts a $400 painting in half. I still can't get over that. Just God. But she didn't know what it was worth. She is. She's very crafty. So yeah, share your hobbies with us. I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, and again, reminder about the contest. Send your review to us. Screenshot your review from Apple Podcasts to get entered in our giveaway of the self-care pouch. And also check out the Anonymous Mom Podcast shop at anonymousmompodcast.com. We have some mom-related stuff, astrology-related stuff, and we're pretty excited about it. And I can't wait to start wearing everything. So
yes,
thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace out. Thanks for tuning in to Anonymous Mom.
Check out video episodes over on YouTube. Email us at anonymousmompod@gmail.com. Or if you want to remain anonymous, join our Facebook group, Anonymous Mom, where you can post your topic or question anonymously.
Thanks for listening.